Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with Rethink Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 71. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at Rethink Coaching. And as always, I want to thank you for sharing your time with me. Time is our most valuable asset, and the fact that you're willing to share your time with me truly does mean a great deal. So here we are, team. Holidays are in the rearview mirror, where most of us are settling back into what I would say is a normal work rhythm. And we are already starting to test out those new strategies that we put into place when we wrote our business plan, and we are moving forward towards our goal. Here's what I want to caution, though, and I've seen this happen, and I want to make sure it doesn't happen to you. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to be honest, because this is how the mind can work sometimes. The question is, where are you giving your attention and your focus? Are you focusing on the majors, or are you focusing on the minors? And I want to clarify what I mean by that. So pay attention, because it's really important that you understand this concept of focus on the majors or the minors. The majors are the activities that are going to bring you the most high impact activities that bring you the greatest results. The minors are the lesser activities, the ones that are less priority, that do consume a lot of time and energy, but do not contribute to meaningful business growth. I want to give you an example of what this might look like. The majors, right? The high impact activity might be lead generation, doing an open house, calling your database, following up on nurtures and leads, door knocking, circle prospecting, calling FSBOs, your major activities, those high impact activities, they're going to net us the greatest results. So just think about that is the activity that I'm doing the highest priority for getting me a result? And a result is either a lead or a nurture, or right now, is it getting me those results? Or is it a minor that's just kind of in a supporting role? Not necessarily going to produce anything, yet they're minor tasks that need to be done. If you think about this, what I know happens, and I want to caution, I've seen this happen so many times, I've had it happen to me myself, is when we start taking action and we're not getting results that we thought we would, or we're uncomfortable with the action, so we might not even be taking it right now, the mind is going to work an incredible number on you and seduce you into doing minor activities, because there's usually things that you can win that are not dependent upon anyone else saying yes to you or agreeing to work with you. So a minor activity might be an administrative activity, putting a status change in MLS, changing a marketing flyer, reaching out to your admin or your virtual assistant to help you do something. Those are minors. Those are for sure wins. And this is how the brain works, or how your mind is going to work. It's going to search for a win to protect you and make you feel good. So we might default to minor activities and not even know that we've done it, because what happens is it just feels really good. In the moment, it feels really good. But have you ever had a day where you did a lot of things but didn't move the needle forward? I know we've all had them, where at the end of the day, you're like, gosh, I did a whole lot today, but I don't feel like I did anything. Or I did a lot of things today, but nothing netted me in the result that I really need to move me towards my goal. So that's what majors and minors look like. We want to spend the majority of our time playing and focusing on the majors. Those are the big rocks. Those are the things that are going to get you to goal. Those are the things that are going to help you move forward. So we really want to focus our actions and attention on the majors, because they're going to drive sales. They're going to move you towards that goal. They're going to push the string along, moving you towards what we're looking to do. So identify what those core business drivers or those majors are in your world, and make sure that they become a non-negotiable for you. should be the top of your list priority of things to do every day that you're working, because we're working towards moving forward and capturing leads, nurtures, and right nows. There's a significant cost if you don't. So I want to talk about this for a minute. When you prioritize, right, when we're prioritizing those non-negotiables or we're prioritizing those majors, those things should be in neon light flashing at you on your calendar. I don't care if you do an electronic calendar or you do a pen and paper calendar, whatever works for you. Those should be the things that are grabbing your attention and that you know are your non-negotiables. For me, I still do this, team. It's a habit I learned. I can't remember who the gentleman is that came up with this concept, but I still highlight my calendar, those majors, those activities that are moving me forward in green, because I know those are also income earning activities. So my majors on my calendar are always in green, because guess what? It allows me to prioritize. If my day collapses, and hey, it happens, it's called life, it's called business, right? We're dealing with general public, we're dealing with people, we're dealing with multiple parties. Stuff can happen, but I know if I look at a glance at my calendar, my majors are highlighted in green. And those are the things that I cannot erase. I can't. I may have to move to a different day, but I can't erase. But it makes it really easy for me to know what I need to reschedule immediately when I look at that calendar, because my majors are in green. So make sure you're prioritizing in a way that you know exactly what the majors are. And if you are finding yourself drifting to the minors, pull yourself back, look at the calendar. One of the things that I used to do when I was really learning this concept early on was I set a timer every 15 minutes to go off on my phone. And what it allowed me to do is when the timer went off, I looked at what I was doing versus what my calendar of priorities, my calendar of majors said. And if I wasn't doing what was on my calendar, I quickly could move back. It just allowed me to focus on the major and prioritize. The cost to you, if you focus on the minors versus the majors, I mean, there are so many hidden costs for us. Missed opportunities is probably the biggest one. You know, it's missed opportunities to engage with your clients, missed opportunities to engage with your database, missed opportunities for lead follow-up, which is where 80+% of our business is going to come from. 80% of the opportunity to get new leads. So there are high opportunity costs when you focus on the minors. The other thing that can happen, frustration, burnout, and stress. Think about it. I don't care what's going on in your mind. At the end of the day, end of the week, end of the month, if you haven't moved forward towards the goal because you've been playing in the minors, you're going to be stressed. You just are. You're going to feel burnt out. Like, why am I doing this? I'm working my butt off, but nothing's happening. I'm not getting the results that I was looking to get: leads, nurtures, right now clients. So it's really important that you pay attention, because the opportunity costs are huge when you allow yourself to slide into the minors. Now, I want to say something, and I want you to hear it. Every once in a while, if you've got your butt handed to you from lead generation or doing those major activities, you might need a win. So you might slip into a minor real quick just to get a win, just to check it off your list, to get something done. You just can't stay there, because it's when you stay there that your opportunity costs go through the roof. You're going to cost yourself so much money. But it's okay. It's okay. I mean, heck, I do it every once in a while. I'm like, okay, that was not exactly an enlightening experience of lead generation today. So I'm going to do something that I know I can win at, because I need a boost. I need a release of the dopamine that makes me feel good. And then I can go back to the major activities with a different mindset, different energy around it, and feel really good. One of the other things that you can do to help you when you're looking at staying in the majors, focusing in the majors versus the minors, is make sure you're delegating. You know, it's one of the biggest gifts I ever gave to myself when I was in production was getting a transaction coordinator. And I think everybody should have one if you're in real estate. If you don't, you should, because it is the greatest form of leverage. And when we can shift from the minors to the majors, if I've delegated all of the minor stuff to somebody else and they're doing it, I don't have to worry about it. My brain's not going to try to seduce me to slide into that because somebody else is doing it. All of a sudden, I'm going to be co-sharing a job with somebody if I do. But when I delegate and leverage all of the minor stuff off, or the most stuff off that I can, it really does clear a path for me to stay focused on the majors. And that's where we want to be. So delegate those minor tasks. Make sure you've got leverage. I know some of you might be newer in your career and you're like, it's me, I do everything. I would highly, highly, highly encourage you, whether it's your first transaction or your 50th transaction, to look at the different ways that you can leverage. And one of the easiest ways that you can leverage and get some of those minors off of your to-do list is by hiring a transaction coordinator. Check with your broker, make sure it's legal where you operate. I don't know anywhere that it's not, but you just never know. So delegate. Also, the thing that we must do is to really be mindful and reflect on the day. I know in a previous podcast I've talked about this, but I have a checklist at the end of every day. That's my win the day checklist. I know when I do these activities, my majors, I'm going to win the day. When I don't do them, I'm not going to win the day. So I want to encourage you to regularly evaluate your daily activities through reflection, through journaling. It might be through your win the day checklist. Everybody's win the day checklist is going to be a smidge different, but it's really important that you are paying attention and that you're reflecting upon the activities that you're doing, because I promise you, this can happen in a blink. You're not even going to know it's happening, and you can stay in the minors for a long time if you don't get purposeful about it and pay attention. That's why I love the daily win the day checklist. It calls me out on my cred. It really is right there in front of me. I know that if I spend a day focused on the minors, I know that day, and I know that I can adjust and pivot the next day and get back on track. So mindfulness and reflection are a really big part of shifting out of the minors and staying into the majors. And then just create a mindset for your major accomplishments. You know, a growth mindset is really important. I said this a lot, and I'm going to say it again. We're entering into a new strategy session, a new strategy process of our upcoming year. And with that can come a limiting beliefs or some self-doubt. And I want you to pay attention to those thoughts, because we want to keep you in a space of growth. So you may need to focus on more growth, like hiring a coach. I will tell you, my coach keeps me focused on the majors and will kick my butt if they find out I'm spending a lot of time in the minors. And I will tell you that is something that is really important to my growth. So being in a growth mindset, professional development, continuous learning, adapting to market shifts, paying attention to what's going on so it doesn't pull you out of the majors into the minors. Really focus on those efforts, because this growth mindset you're going to take on when you're playing in the majors is really going to help you with that long-term growth. Celebrate your successes. I think that we don't do this enough, especially when we have a success in the majors. I said, if you're having a day where you kind of got your butt handed to you and you not a whole lot of wins in the majors, do something to get a win. But what we tend to not do is honor and acknowledge when we have a win in the majors, in the focus area of the major. If I do an open house and I secure the neighbor's listing because of doing that open house, or I secure an amazing buyer by doing that open house, a lot of times I think us as agents, we're just drivers. We just want to go, 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 go. We tend to punish ourselves more than we do reward ourselves. And this is really important to keep you motivated about focusing on the majors, is celebrate your successes. So celebrate that buyer, celebrate that neighbor coming in and you securing a listing appointment with them. Celebrate it. Don't just make a check mark because you did your job and it's just a task that we can check off. Really, truly, honestly, do a little celebration. You don't have to go out for a major, meal or spend a lot of money on something. You can just celebrate something small. Find out what it is that motivates you and use that as your celebration. It doesn't have to be major again. It could be going to your favorite coffee shop. It could be getting a dessert at your favorite restaurant. It could be going for a hike in the middle of the day. It could be whatever it is that is a great reward for you because you played in the majors and you won in the majors. That celebration of it will reinforce and land on your brain in a way that your brain's like, okay, I know I can do it. I've got evidence that I did it. That's the biggest part when we fail to celebrate that's going to cause you the most harm. When we pause and reflect and we can look at that and celebrate. It is creating the pathway in your brain. It's telling your brain you did it. You know how to do this. It's creating the path of possibility. And once you've done it, you can do it again and again and again. Yet if we ignore it and don't acknowledge it and celebrate a little bit, you're not allowing your brain to see that path forward, to see how it did it, and to know that it's possible for it to do it again. So I'm going to conclude with this. This is a really important thing. I will find myself doing this, and I want you to be really aware of this. Over 90% of what we do as human beings is conditioned habitual behavior. I've talked about this before, and I've never said, hey, it's, healthy conditioned habitual or phenomenal condition. It's just conditioned habitual behavior. Good or bad is the label that you choose to put on it. But that's what we tend to do. So if you have spent time in the past playing in the minors, and if you have, you most likely haven't hit your goal that you set for yourself. I want you to really think about it, because it's really easy to slide into that conditioned habitual behavior and not even know you're doing it. It's like pulling up a warm blanket or drinking your favorite cup of coffee or your favorite warm beverage. It just feels really good. It's really comforting. Your brain's like, oh, I know how to do this. I got this. I have so much evidence of this working. It's really amazing. I'm going to slide into this conditioned habitual behavior of the minors because that's what I've always done. This is a really important thing for you to understand. It's going to take you doing self-check-ins with yourself. It's going to take you evaluating your activities throughout the day. If you wait till the end of the day, that's okay. I would prefer we do a couple check-ins throughout the day because I don't want to lose an entire day. For me, if I check in with myself at noon, which I traditionally do before I go to lunch, I will look and see, what the heck did I do today? Where was I playing? Where was I focusing? And if I was doing the wrong stuff all morning long, and I say that wrong stuff, there's some things that need to be done that are the minors. But if I put that over my majors and I catch myself at noon, I still have time to correct it so I don't lose an entire day, because that is what I don't want to do. The other thing is just making sure that you've got a way to draw your attention to those majors. For me, I highlighted in green on my calendar. I know what the major is. I know what is non-negotiable. I know what I must do. So I just want you to pay attention. If you have habitually not hit your goal, chances are you're spending more time in the minors than you are the majors. That is now a conditioned habitual behavior. And it's the one that feels the most comfortable at times of stress, at times of discomfort, at times of uncertainty. It's what's going to feel the most comfortable, and your brain's going to just pull you over to it. And you're going to be in that space, that 90% conditioned habitual, and not even consciously be aware that you're doing it. So team, as we move into 2025, I am going to invite you to play in the majors. I'm going to invite you to focus on the majors, because that is what's going to get you to goal. That's what's going to move the needle. If this is hitting you in a way that you need some additional help, please just reach out. Tony@rethinkcoaching.com is my email address. Easiest way to get a hold of me. You can find me on all of the social outlets, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everything. You can DM me. You can Google me and get my cell phone number and just reach out to me. I'm a pretty friendly guy. And if you are struggling, I want to help you. And if you go to our website, rethinkcoaching.com, there'll be a pop-up screen on there that you can enter your information for a free 1-hour strategy call, and we can talk about this. So just remember the concept of majors versus minors, non-negotiables versus just tasks. The majors are the high impact activities getting you the most results. Identify your high impact activities, make them a priority. For me, highlighted in green. And really pay attention to the amount of time that you deviate from those activities. Be aware of your opportunity cost, what you're costing yourself. In addition to lost business, you're most likely creating stress, burnout, frustration, and those are really, really bad things, because when you focus on the minors, at the end of the day, you didn't move the needle forward. You just didn't. Focus on those strategies, from automation to leverage to anything you can do to move those minors off of your plate so you don't ever have to do them again. Would be great if you're early on in your career and you have to do it. It's okay. Just be aware of it and become really aware of when you can immediately start to do that. It's the best gift you can give yourself. Reflect upon what you're doing at the end of the day or at noon, if you're like me, noon and end of day, and just really make sure that you are spending time in the majors. And if you're not, what drew you out of it? What caused you to slide into the minors? Create that mindset of growth. Hire a coach. Probably the best thing you could ever do for yourself and your business, hire a coach. Stay in a growth mindset, celebrate those successes, and really just pay attention to your daily routine. Your calendar is your to-do list with times assigned to it. Pay attention to the majors. I'm here for you if you need me. Cannot wait to hear great things that you're doing. Let's focus on the majors team. We'll see you next week. Make it a great week. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.